Okay, we only have two segments of businesses from 2026, unlike before where we have three. So what do I mean? Before 2026, 2025, and backwards, we have small businesses, we have medium-sized businesses, and we have large businesses. But now we only have small and large, okay? And the small businesses are those who are making about 100 million in the year. So what I would say, just to hinge on that is, please be tracking your income every month, okay? And then the small businesses, 100 million, then above 100 million are large businesses. So those are the two areas that we have. So in terms of tax, company income tax. So before I say the rates, I'll say this. Company income tax only applies to businesses that are limited. So you are registered as a limited by shares, by guarantee, or whatever form of limited registration you have with CAC, and also NGO. Those are NGOs are not taxed, by the way, but other limited liability registrations, that those are the companies that company income tax apply, or what you call CIT, which is done annually, right? So if your business is not registered as limited liability company, you do not, CIT does not affect you at all, right? So all my beloved business owners that have upgraded their business, I don't know what to say. So this would apply to you. So now, from 2026, in 2026, when you are filing your accounts, your tax is 27.5% if you are making a revenue above 100 million. But if you are making less than 100 million, there is no tax to be made on your business. But of course, you know that they're going to audit you to make sure that you truly did not make that amount of money if you are a limited liability company. Mostly when your CAC is loaded. What do I mean by loaded? Means you have plenty things you are doing. I had conflicting meetings today, and my staff had to go to NRS to do an audit meeting for a client. And one thing they said, or she gave me a report on my way coming back to the office for this training, was the CAC of that business mentioned an area of business that could have brought in a lot of revenue, but they are not dealing in that area. So now they were very surprised that the business was not doing that area. So they want to now drill into the company's activities to really confirm that they are doing what we said they are doing and not having all those other areas of their business, right? So please make sure you are doing your invoices, you are doing your receipts, your documentation is stellar, right? So I'm going to say that, and I'm going to move on to the next question. So that is your answer. Small businesses, no tax, no company income tax. Large businesses making above 25 million, above 100 million, it's that percentage. Then in 2027, the tax will drop to 25%. I really hope that really works because everything is still in the works right now. The second question is, are there new allowable deductions or capital allowances that my business can claim under the law? So I'm not sure who asked this question. It's very, very technical, but I'm going to break it down so others who do not understand it can understand where we are coming from so that you also understand my answer. So allowable deductions are deductions that you can deduct from your sales and they will not add it back. When I say they, I mean NRS or the taxman will not add it back. It's allowable for you to deduct it to be able to get your profit. So that invariably tells you that there are expenses that you might deduct that it's not allowable for you to deduct to get your profit. With the new company income tax computation and the way they structure the tax law, before, capital allowance is kind of taxed separately. So capital allowance is when you get assets, you sell it, or you make some, how would I put it now, revenue or all those things from your capital assets, right? Before, it was charged separately, but now it's added to your profit before company income tax is charged, right? So if you make profit and you are taxable, that part of your profit from capital allowance would then be taxed. So now, allowable deductions. What are deductions that are allowable for you to remove from your sales before you can say, okay, now this is my profit? So one is your normal expenses, but expenses that are related to the revenue that you have made. So let me put it this way. You are selling shoes, for example, right, on bumper and to your customers. You're selling shoes. If you buy the shoes, those are the shoes that you have bought that you sold, those are allowable deductions. But if you have not sold the shoe, it is not an allowable deduction. So let me break that explanation down. You bought 10 pairs of shoes. You only sold 7. The cost of the 7 shoes are the only allowable deductions you would have, not the 10 cost of shoes. The same thing, if you don't have a car registered in the name of your business, you cannot repair the car and put it as an allowable deductions. Because right now we are currently doing audits, management accounts for our clients from 2025. And there are some things I'm telling them you might have to reclassify, or you might have to remove it, or you might have to call it as director's expense. And this is one of them where you are repairing, you are fueling, you're taking care of an asset that is not in the company's name. So for example, a director or a business owner has a car and they decide to, who is sending me plenty message? Sorry, let me mute this. Um, okay. So, wow. Okay, so you decide to buy tire for your car, the car bought in your name. If you buy that tire for your car, the cost of that tire for your car is going to be a director's allowance or your salary or a deduction or a drawings. That cannot be put in your profit and loss account as a deductible expense, right? So that's one. Let me not overflog that. The second one are things like salaries, right? Also falls into that. Repairing equipment that you have as a business or as for the business, pension contribution for your staff, things like that are allowable deduction. Interest on loan, but not the capital. So let me explain it. You borrow 10 million from the bank, and then you are paying, let's say, 3 million on that 10 million. The 3 million is an allowable deduction, but the 10 million is not an allowable deduction. Your accountant will know that and will capitalize your 10 million, which means that it will not be deducted from your profits or from your sales to get your profit or your loss. So those are things that are allowable. I'm going to just quickly touch on one or two that are not allowable so that you can get my drift. I kind of already said one, but if you contribute to a pension fund that's not recognized nationwide, maybe an orphanage, widows, a savings, those things might not be recognized, in fact, are not recognized by the country, those deductions are not allowable. That will be seen as your personal contribution, except maybe CSR, right? So things like that, the assets, contributions, savings, penalties, all those things that you would normally would not do on your normal business activities, those things are not allowable, right? I'm going to run to the third question. Let me see if there is, oh wow. Okay, so I'm going to continue. The third question, have the VAT rules for digital services and e-commerce businesses changed? I would say it has not really changed, but it has become more visible. Why do I say that? In this era, we have a lot of digital service and international service and e-service where somebody just have their products online like a bumper. You don't really have a physical store somebody can go to. You might have a warehouse where you keep your products in your house, and then you're selling strictly online. They buy it, deliver to their house or office or wherever, or you have digital products, softwares, and people can buy like subscriptions. All those things are now have been taxable, but it's very obvious now. Why? Because the workforce is changing. So the new tax law is trying to bring everybody into the workforce, right? So if you are doing you're a marketer, you are what's it called now? These people, the influencers, or you do work abroad, but you are based in Nigeria. So that's one thing you need to know. Any revenue you make, your location, your address, your place of living, I'll put it like that, is in Nigeria. Irrespective of where you are, those income are taxable. The tax law also says even if you did not bring the money into Nigeria, it is still taxable, just that, well, it will be hard for them to find out, right? So any income, I have clients that their employer is not based in Nigeria and they pay them in bitcoins or in dollars or whatever, but they pay them in Nigeria. That money, I don't know if I'll say fortunately for Nigeria, unfortunately for the person, is taxable. And if you are doing business strictly online and you fall in between within the tax brackets, meaning you are making revenue above 100 million, you are taxable, or your products are taxable. If you are also making revenue as an individual and you are based in Nigeria, that part does not have limits. If you make income and you are earning over 800,000 in the year, you are taxable, right? Of course, there are liable things which I will get to. The fourth one, are there new compliance requirements for filing returns or submitting financial statements electronically? I think I know what person is going to e-invoicing, right? If I get that right. So in fact, from last year, I think August, September, October, all my recurring clients have already started telling them and actually registering them on an accounting software. In fact, 98%, except the ones that are just strong-willed and of course can't force any adults, 98 or 95% of our clients who we are doing accounts for this year, I'm telling them, go and register, or let's register you and set you up and prepare your accounts on an accounting software. Why? Because we are gradually getting to a point where e-invoicing. So what does e-invoicing mean? I'm sure you'd have heard it because it's kind of a lot now. Now they are trickling down from the large companies. E-invoicing means you have an accounting. In fact, that even reminds me, when we were filling the form for the client that we say we went out to today, my staff went out today, one of the requirements in the form for NRS is whether you have an accounting software and what is the accounting software. So they are that serious. But e-invoicing is basically saying you are connecting your accounting software or your invoicing software to NRS so that they are able to see whoever you are invoicing, what you are invoicing for, how much it is. Yes, they are going on about the fact that, okay, this is to be able to help the economy, make decisions and all that. But again, that tells you that before you get to the end of the year and say, oh, I'm not taxable, or before you say, oh, I did not make this amount of money, they already know how much you are making every month, right? And there is no invoice that you would then send that they will not be aware of. So on this note, I would say to every business here, please, first things first, get your business registered on accounting software. If you are not sure how to do, please reach out to us. That's the first thing. Secondly, structure your business such that any money that comes into your business, it is invoiced for. Why is it important? Because there are some businesses that not everything that comes into your business is your money. I like to use events business or brokerage business, for example. When you do a brokerage business, you can get 1 billion. In fact, I see that a lot, right? You can get 1 billion paid into your account. But in fact, just 0.05% of that money is yours. The other part is to pay for the brokerage that you have done. So if you don't do your invoice to clearly state that this money is my money and this money is for the brokerage, then you will not be able to ensure that they get a clear picture of what is in your account. So in terms of the question, without overflogging it, yes, there's a bit of change and there's e-invoicing, and the take home is please get your accounting software and get your business structured properly so that you are only charging and clearly stating what part of your money is what they are paying you. The same thing with delivery. You might be a skincare business, for example, and your customer has paid you for delivery. Delivery is not your money. It's only the product of what they've sold, of what you've sold as your money. Delivery is going to be going to somebody else. So you need to clearly define that. Don't lump everything up and say, I don't want my customer to know. Seriously, you might be hurting yourself. Okay? So I'm going to jump to 627. 5. How does the law affect withholding tax obligation for payment to contractors and foreign partners? Okay, so that's a two-sided question. Withholding tax, let me first explain for those who do not get it. Withholding tax is, for when I'm training, I always say withholding tax is the reverse of VAT. Why? Withholding tax is deducted from the money you are paying to somebody. And that is what you add to what somebody is paying you. That's why I said it's reversed. So when you are going to pay somebody for a contract, professional fees, rent, service, products not produced by them, all those things under withholding tax, there's a particular percentage that applies. So let's give contract, for example. For contract, it's 2% for individuals or locals and all that, right? So that means you pay the person who you are supposed to pay 98%, hold back 2%, use the person's or the company's tax ID to pay the 2% on their behalf and get a receipt which you give to them, right? Because they still benefit. So they still get the full 100%. But withholding tax is like the government saying, give us the tax, beforehand. When they go and do their tax, they can deduct that part. That's why you need to give them the receipts, right? So when it comes to contractors, people who you are doing contracts with, that applies. But also foreign partners, because with the new tax law, and in fact, with the tax law generally, when you when somebody outside, whether it's a foreigner, a foreign business, somebody not based in Nigeria or whatever, when you do business with them, you are still supposed to do withholding tax. And that tax is seen as their final tax if they don't have a business based in Nigeria, right? So you would apply the tax, and that tax is usually higher than the normal one you charge for somebody who is here, right? So you apply that tax. They are supposed to get a TIN or a tax ID, which you would use to pay. So anybody that earns revenue from Nigeria, whether the person is abroad or any part of the world, you are supposed to deduct withholding tax. Please take note, because if you don't, the tax man gonna make you pay that tax, and you're going to pay penalty for it. Okay, so please be mindful. So the sixth question: have payroll tax or payee reporting requirement for employees been updated? The simple answer is yes, but the question is how, right? So I mentioned the other time that we have some changes with our tax law, and you would start getting taxed when you are above 800,000. But I did not dive deep into that because I knew this question was coming. I was going to answer it properly. So in the old tax law, we had some allowable deduction of 200,000 or 20%, or 20% of annual gross salary and all those other stuff. And then we had graduated skill. I don't want to go there, we passed that. But for the new tax law, we have 200,000 or 20% of your annual rent. So if you calculate 20% of your annual rent, if it's above 500,000, you would only charge 500,000. Because I know in Lagos, we have ridiculous rents, right? In places that's, anyway. So that's an allowable deduction from your salary. Then also pension, national health insurance, national housing fund, also interest on loan that is used to get a property that you are going to leave. So you are paying the salary, if you have gotten a loan to buy a house that you will live in, the interest on that loan is an allowable deduction, right? Life insurance is also allowable deductions. So let's now say, for example, somebody's total salary for the year is 5 million, right? And your rent highest 500,000, okay? So you first deduct 500,000 from your 5 million, that's 4.5 million. Then you pay housing fund, insurance, and pension. Let's say everything again, 500,000. So that's 1 million, left with 4 million. Then there is another allowable deduction of 800,000. The first 800,000 is at 0%. So it's seen as an allowable deduction. So from your 4 million, take out another 800,000. So you are left with 4.2. Is that 4.2 that you will now start getting taxed, right? With the tax law, we have the first taxable income of 2.2. So now you have 4.2. Your first 2.2 will be at 15%. The next on that scale is 9 million at 18%. So somebody who has all this deduction and has a taxable income of 4.2, taking out 2.2, less than 2 million, the balance 2 million will now be at 18%. But if your balance is more than 9 million, you take out 9 million, 18%, and you keep going until you get to the last rate, which is 15 million, and that is at 25%, and that is the highest rate, right? I did some computation for my staff and some clients going to January 2026, and I saw that most people were earning more money because their tax rate was less. In fact, the people who were paying rent were having more salary and less tax than those who were earning less money. So let me put an example. Somebody earning 500,000 as their gross salary and was paying rent was paying less tax than someone who is earning 300,000 and had no rent to pay. So these allowable deductions and rent and all those things are really helping those that are earning, within the brackets, because it starts going really up when you start looking at 13 million, 25 million, 50 million. Okay. My EA was telling me the last class, somebody mentioned that they were in the free zone area. So I'm going to just quickly say it before I go to the next question. So for free trade zone, there's a requirement that you are supposed to sell 100% of your product outside Nigeria. That is the reason why you would be in the free trade zone area, right? So if you are selling more than 25% of your products in Nigeria, you will be taxed. You'll be liable to tax, because those in the free trade zone area, they are not taxed. But now, if you are selling your products in Nigeria, that part will be taxed, right? And then you have to then show additional proof that your products and everything which you have produced are actually exported. So you need to show proof of the exports, proof of the fact that you sold it maybe in UK, US, whatever. You need to show that. And then the flow of your production, of your whatever, your output, you have to show that documentation. So if you are in free trade zone area, you have to make sure that you are having those documentation and you are keeping it safe, because believe me, they are going to come for it, right? And then after the 1st of January 2028, you are not required. In fact, you'll be contravening the laws of free trade zone area if you sell anything less than 25% in Nigeria, okay? So I wanted to just mention that, please, documentation, very, very important. Okay, so now I see someone's hand raised. Do I take that or I can continue? Maybe I should continue. Maybe your question will be answered when I'm done.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, fantastic. I think I just answered 6. Number 7, are there specific sector-specific incentives for SMEs or startups under this law, and what qualifies? So yes, there are some incentives. For example, agric, if you are into like pure agric, husbandry, crop, all those things, you have 5 years to not pay any tax, irrespective of how much you earn. Then after 5 years, you start paying tax. What I would say is most businesses do not really fall in, but I know research, I think you have 3 years. Agric, I think it's 5 years. Most of my clients fall within these two, so I have that already. But if you want to be sure for your industry, you can just send me a message and I will confirm that for you. What are the penalties? That's number 8. What are the penalties for late filings? Underporting, I'm not sure what underporting means, or incorrect remittance under the new provisions. These are, there's a way they call it, I think in the caricature, grievancing, right? That please, you do not, I don't know how to stress this, right? You do not want to be found wanting. Like, this is serious. These things that I just read now. Late filing. Let me give you an example of 3 months. So Let's imagine we are now in March, right? Because literally this is like 2 days to March, right? If you did not file by 21st of January, so you did not file your December sales in January, that is 50,000. If by March, sorry, by February, 21st February, you have still not filed January VAT, I mean, even if you have nothing to pay and you are exempted and you're not making up to 100 million and you are an NGO, you are a school, you are you have to still file. Please, I need to stress this. You still have to file. If you don't file and you are not, you didn't make even 1 naira in that month of December, 50,000 will be waiting for you by 12:01 of the midnight of 21st of January. By 21st of February, and you not still filed December, that's 25,000. So 75,000 at the end of February, you have 75,000 to pay as penalty for not filing December. Now you are in February. So January, you're supposed to have filed it by the 21st of February. So January, you've not filed it. That's 50,000. So do the maths. So by December, you've not filed by, let's say April, you've not filed December. 50,000, 25,000, 25,000, 25,000, 25,000 until you get to when you actually file it. That's the penalty that is waiting. And this is when you are exempted, you don't have anything to pay, you made 0 naira, whatever it is, that penalty still applies. Then if you have a VAT to pay, there's interest on that VAT of the percentage of interest as per bank rate. And it can be 32% or 30% or 28%. So it's usually double digits. So you have your late filing. If you have VAT to pay, you have penalty on that. So please, you do not want to do that, right? The incorrect remittance. I don't understand what underporting means. I'm not sure. But incorrect remittance means that you're supposed to have paid 50,000. You went to go and pay
Sorry, Mark, you
20,000.
probably mean underreporting.
Underreporting. Oh, yes. Maybe it's me that did not read it well. Sorry. Underreporting, yes. So underreporting and incorrect remittance, they are brothers and sisters or they are cousins. Underreporting means that you're not declaring what you actually need. Incorrect remittance means you did not pay what you're supposed to pay, right? Underreporting is saying that you actually made 5 million, but you said you made 2 million. That's underreporting because you have to actually state that this is the money you make. That's one that mistake I see that really breaks my heart because when they come to audit you, they will penalize you for that. Don't, because you are exempted, just go and file nil. Meanwhile, you made sales in that month, even if it's 5,000 naira as sales you made, you have to report that sale, right? You might not be making 100 million for the year and all those nice stuff, but you still have to record what you sold. There's a class I have for training people who want to do it themselves. I train them on how to capture your sales, what to put in what sheets, what to actually call your revenue for the month, because there are different industries. You might have money coming to your bank account now, but the money you've not serviced it. So let me give an example. An event business, right? You get paid for, excuse me, you get paid for a gig, as they normally call it, or an event. We are in February now. The event is April because people always book their event planners and all that in time. So until you actually complete the terms of that service, you have not made the money, even though the money is in your bank account. So you cannot report that revenue. So these are kind of things we teach in that class. And then what should you call it? At what point should you record it? And then your accounting should match what you are saying in your VAT. Anyway, time is going. Let me not go into that. So you need to report what you have made as sales, and then you need to pay the VAT that you're supposed to pay. I always say this. If you are going to pay VAT and you have collected the VAT, edge or put the money aside before 21st of March or 21st of the month. Go and pay it. Because if there's a post I did on my Instagram page, I think it was this morning before I went out. And I was saying that it's not because you do not have the money. It's because your spending is not planned and it's not projected. Because if you know that this month you are going to hire 2 more staff, you would have planned it in the quarter and say, in February, I'm going to have staff. But the question you're going to ask yourself is that, do I have money to increase my staff? Because if you say, oh, activities are so much, but are the activities bringing money, right? So anyway, let me not regress. Please remit correctly, don't underreport, and don't file late. Number 9, does the law introduce new threshold or exemptions that affect small businesses? I've answered that question. Are there transitional provisions for business that previously relied on old tax law exemptions? No, not necessarily. As we come into the year, it applies to you. Okay, let me explain this because somebody asked me this. Your business is a going concern, right? Like I said, this January, February, March, I'm thinking to April because we have our last minute people, right? We will be preparing management accounts and auditing accounts for our clients, right? Old and new. So the old tax law would affect 2025. But for 2026, as we are preparing the accounts January, February, the new tax law would apply. So there's some people who were paying tax before or VAT before in 2025, they would not pay VAT again this year because they are actually making far below. So if you are doing 80 million, 90 million, please just pay your VAT because by God's grace, God helping us, you will get to 100 million and pass it. But if you are doing 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, the likelihood, except there's something like some exponential growth that you've planned for the year, it takes really a lot to double and triple your revenue within 1 year span, right? At least from experience. I find that people who are doing very big, we help them to double. But those who are doing small, we can do triple for you. Well, we can work with you to get triple. So please kind of look at your projection because we are just entering, we're going to start filing VAT for February. So make sure that you plan and see what you are doing to know whether what applies. But the old tax law will still apply for anything. So some people are now paying their payee for 2024, 2025 because they've already deducted it. So they want to do it now and be compliant for 2026, right? So the computation for that payee would still be the old computation for 2025 and 2024. But from this month or last month, January and February, the new tax law would apply. So I think those are all the questions I have here. Okay, so I'm going to just jump on the questions. I have 7. Let me just run through it. Am I paying it? Am I paying tax as a business name? Yes, if you are making above 100 million, but the only tax as a business name you pay, if it applies, is VAT and maybe withholding tax. Then, of course, your staff tax that applies to everybody and your personal income tax. But for a limited liability companies, they are big boys, they are paying more. Please explain VAT registration for small business. Okay, very good question, very important. So what does VAT registration mean? It means that your company, if you don't have a team, whether on your sales certificate or got it through your bankers, because I find that bankers open, but please, if you get that team, or if you don't have a team, you first have to get a team. Then when you get a team, you go and register the team. There are a number of forms we fill, documents that we have, and then we send it to, what's it called? We send it to NRS, the closest tax office close to you. And then they will give you what you call a VAT letter or VAT certificate, right? Then after that, they will register you on Tax Pro Max. Tax Pro Max is the platform where all NRS tax, like company income tax, VAT, withholding tax to limited liability companies are registered, right? So when you do these two things, VAT letter, very important. In fact, if you don't have a VAT letter and you go to NRS to go and register your Tax Pro Max, it's going to take you back and penalize you because you're supposed to get your VAT letter within 6 months of registering your company, whether small, whether enterprise or limited or whatever form of business you have. I have the as a sole proprietor of business that is with only CS registered business name. How are we taxed? I think I've answered that. VAT, PAYE, the director's tax, withholding tax when it applies. Do you have to pay to federal government after paying tax to state? Yes, if you are making above 100 million. And that's VAT. I registered my business in May 2025 and started operating in 2026. Do I have? Yes, you are even late. January 26, you're supposed to file your VAT. If you've started your business, you start filing your VAT immediately. So you are supposed to have filed VAT on or before February 2020, February 21st, 2026. That should be your first filing, miracle, right? And now you have to show proof that when you registered your business, you did not start, what's it called? You did not start, when you registered your business with CAC, you did not start activities then. Your bank statement, they will want to see it. In fact, now, the things are changing. Now, if your business was registered before 2023, and you don't have a VAT letter or register with Tax Pro Max, it goes to Abuja. They approve it. And you know Abuja and Yawala plenty. Anyway, goodness, for someone who has not filed for the first time, what is the first step to file? Is it done? Yes, it's done electronically, and I'm guessing you are talking about VAT. The first thing you need to do is to, of course, register your tax on Tax Pro Max, get your VAT letter. If you've opened your bank account and for your business and you started operating, you started making sales, the earliest time to start was, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is by the end of this month, going into next month. Zoom user, you asked, how do you assess? Oh, well, I think that's for bumper. How do you assess to the recording too? Okay, well. So, yes, I think, okay, I have blessing. It's VAT compulsory if you make less than 100 million. I don't collect VAT from my customers. So if you make less than 100 million, like what I said, right, you do not have to, what's the English? If you make less than 100 million, you do not have to collect VAT, but you will still have to file. I hope that makes sense. You will still have to file even if you make less than 100 million. So that's where the actual penalty lies, is in not filing. Because even if you have nothing to pay, do you get? Even if you have nothing to pay, the penalty will still apply. And that's why I said, please, you do not want to be found not filing. You have to file, right? So in the filing is where your penalty is. So if you are making less than 100 million, yes, don't collect VAT. You don't pay VAT, but you still file. I hope that answers your question. So I think those are all. Oh, wow. Okay. Dockers, how do I get my team? Okay. When you say, how do you get your team? Is it that you have one, you don't know how to get it, or you don't have one, you want to create one? So let me answer both, since I'm not sure I can get a feedback from you. So if you don't have one, you need to go to FRS and ask. But please be very careful what you tell them about your business. So if you already have a business account operating and it is operating for over a year, and you are based in Lagos, I'll say reach out to us. Let's advise you on that. That's one. Two, if you have your team, you can go to any tax office, give them your RC number. Please don't go to the one that would have gotten your team so that you don't go and rope you there. Go to a tax office that maybe not very close to you, or if you have a contact, give them your RC number and ask them if you have a team, they'll generate it for you. Wow, okay. How do you file your returns? Do you pay accountants? When you say your returns, do you mean your VAT? Because you also have company CAC returns, you have your CIT returns. So for your VAT is not a return, but anyway, VAT, you file it on Tax Promax. CIT, you file it on VAT Tax Promax. CAC annual returns, you file it on the CAC portal. You need a lawyer. We also do that to do your CAC. If you know how to file your VAT, please go ahead. But for your CIT, you will need an accountant like us to be able to file for you. I believe that is the last question. Somebody has their hand raised. Abigail, do you have a question? I think that is that for me. Yes, businesses without accountants, you can file. Like I said, we train people to file themselves so they can file. You know that some people, they don't have the time, they are very busy, they miss the deadline, they're not sure on their calculations. So we normally help with that. But yes, you can definitely do it yourself. Do VAT penalties apply? Oh, you can't mute. Okay, type your question, Abigail. How do we find you? Is my EA here? And how do you find me? Nobody responded. People of God. Okay. So this is me. You can WhatsApp me on this number and on Instagram. This is me at Accounting and Sync. This is right. Okay, yes, thank you. Please, is there any question that I've missed? My bumper people, please, can you help me? Let me drink some water.
Yes. I'm going through the. Okay, so someone said that do there are lots of questions actually. I'm just trying to a
Okay,
business
I see
names
somebody here. Dorcas is asking. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. A business name tax based on the 800K threshold for personal income tax or the one for companies. So does that mean that if
No,
you're a small business owner with less
no,
than 100 income, it's not advisable you switch to LTD?
yes. Unfortunately, a lot of people have fallen onto that trap. So if you are not making above 100 million and you are a business name, company income tax will not apply to you. And please, and that's why I went through allowable deductions. If you make sales of, let's say, 50 million and you have salary to pay, you have inventory that of products you have sold, you have pension you have paid, you did transport to deliver your product or to get your product, you got telephone credit, internet, all those things are allowable deductions. You had interest on loan, they are allowable deductions before you even make profit. And if you make profit and you do not claim the whole profits, you are not going to be taxed on it because you are putting the money back into the business. It is what you've paid yourself as allowance, as drawings, as salaries that they will tax. It's called personal income tax. It's what you have earned as a person that you will earn that will be taxed. So please don't get worried about the fact that you make 50 million as sales. Somebody come and charge the whole 50 million. Abba. So who will pay for the inventory that you used to sell? The stuff that you have, the rent that you're paying, who's going to pay for that? It's the business. Okay. People of God.
All right. So Ife is asking that my skincare business makes less than 50 million a year and it's a business name. Am I still required to charge my customers VAT?
No, you are not, but you said you made 50 million. So I'm guessing that's your revenue for last year. So this year, do you think that you will make up to 100 million? If you will make up to 100 million, then please do your charge your VAT. But if you know that last, you're not going to do 100 million, please don't charge VAT. But please, I beg you people, file or don't attend my class, not file your tax. Hey, Joe, the penalty is real and they will drag you. They will drag you so much that you will not believe it. So please, so that you're not going to be using your father's property to pay for VAT, or they will see you in jail. That's not your portion in
Medina,
Jesus' name.
yeah, Medina is asking that how do we file tax?
Hey, Regina, did you just come? I say on Tax Pro Max, on Tax Pro Max. Eh? Who's
Maybe
Regina?
we
Did she
can
just
drop the
come?
link for them in the comment section. Tax
The link
promo.
for what? If you are not registered, you have to register on Tax Pro Max. Okay, if I tell you this is the Tax Pro Max platform, if you're not registered, you have to have a login to Tax Pro Max. It's not just accessible like that. You have to register. So like I said, I think somebody asked the question, how do you? So you first get your VAT letter, register on Tax Pro, you have your login details, they'll start uploading the VAT and then you file it.
Okay. I'm looking for maybe one more or two more questions. Okay.
You can't switch to Ology. When you go up, you don't come down when it comes to CAC. You can't switch back. You remain there. And you wear your big boy pants and go to the market and make money.
Gadget Place is saying some of us pay tax to the state government already. Are we to pay the federal again? Is that not going to be double taxation?
No, okay. State tax is your staff tax, which is pay, and your personal income tax, which is your income, right? That's one of the business. Federal tax is if you're a business name or any type of business making above 100 million, you pay that. But if you're making less, you don't pay anything. Then you deduct withholding tax where it applies and you pay. So it's not really affecting you. Then company income tax, when you make profits, when you're above 100 million, you pay your tax. So yeah, it's not double tax. There are different classes of tax for different bodies.
All right. This last question, Ruby is saying, if I open my CAC in Lagos, can I move to the business to Ogun State even if I relocate?
And the thing is, if you are not already on Tax Pro Max, you can just go to local state and register your Tax Pro Max. But if you are already on Tax Pro Max, I don't know what it is, but it's very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. You can fight it and go to Abuja, go to the head office. It's an uphill battle. It's not impossible. You can do it, but it's very hard. In fact, I've been in that for months, years, and I still could not do it. I had to find a way around it for a client, right? So it's hard if you're already on Tax Pro Max, but if you're not on Tax Pro Max, just go to where you are located, because they will ask for your utility bill, which proves your location. So you need to show where your location is when you are registering for Tax Pro Max. That's one of the documents.
Right.
Is it CSC
So
same as the one of FRS? No. Sorry, Dorcas, the answer is no. Yeah, your banker is correct. Sorry, go ahead, my sweet sister.
yeah, somebody is saying, is the 100 million profit or revenue?
My sister is, I don't know if it's a sister, but MCI Power Link. It's revenue. It is your sales. It's not profit. How we wish. How we wish. It's revenue. Please
Okay.
let me say something. Sorry. Whilst we are on this revenue matter, revenue is the money you make from your normal business activity. So if you are into selling shoes, revenue is what you sold, right? And you have met the terms of that sales. If you are selling shoes and you want to sell your company AC because you want to buy a new one, that is not revenue, that's other income. So that's the difference. Just quickly push that in. Yes, Takma is well, it's an app. It's on the web, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so somebody is saying that as is so okay. There's someone very interesting question. He said, can I close my LLC because I fell into the trap of upgrading to LLC out of panic? Can I close it and continue as this as sole proprietorship?
Oh my goodness, that's just sorry, I'm laughing. I've heard that a lot of times when I clarify this whole business name and enterprise. It takes a lot to close down a limited liability company. It takes really a lot to do that. So you can leave it and not if you just registered it, I'm guessing either you don't have a business account or you just start using it and all that because they'll write to you, right? And then when you have upgraded your business name, you cannot go and continue using your business name. It is say you have killed something and now you are using the dead thing. Is wrong. Even as I'm saying, he said it's wrong. So you have to go and register another business name for you to use it. Okay, that's just funny.
All right. So Ifedolakwa said, I am a fish farmer and I process the fish into products for easy consumption. Currently I am below 100 million turnover and I have just two staffs that their salaries are taxable, myself and my assistant. Now, are we meant to charge VAT? Am I to create the payee for the staff as a business or each staff encouraged to liaise with the state tax office for their payee?
Hmm. Good question. Very good question. So, because you are kind of in a Greek, but also processing. If you were just doing raw fish, you kind of be in a Greek, right? But because you are processing the fish, which is your final product, that processed fish is a vatable product. But if you are making less than 100 million, you don't need to charge VAT, but again, you need to file, right? So register on tax pro max file. Then you said you and your staff, your assistant, are making above the taxable income. So yes, your company is expected to deduct the payee and remit it and then file monthly and annually. You would be charged a penalty of 500,000 if you do not do that. So I just feel I should add it. It is not responsibility of your staff to do it. It is your responsibility as well. It's not of the business to file it as pay. But the director, you can do the business owners own separately. You can do it once a year, actually. But your staff that is earning above the minimum income of 800,000 per year, you have to file that even if you have just one star. So that's what it is. You have just one star. Okay. Any other question? Am I the one frozen or my bumper sister is frozen? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Is that the last question? About where is this? If I have a car before, I've been seeing this car question. Sorry, let me answer this. This person very adamant. Let me see. If I have a car before the existence of the business, oh, it keeps going up. Do 1 second. If I have a car before the existence of the business and I use the car to service the business, I would say we can maintain. Yes, that's what I'm saying. If the car is registered in your name, no, you cannot do that. That is no. The answer is no. If I register as a business name, oh, oh wow, this is sorry, I'm trying to it's not too big. If I register as a business name and I make over 100 million, do I? No, you don't That's the sweet thing. If you like do 1 billion, you don't still pay company income tax. Company income tax does not apply to business name. You don't pay company income tax irrespective of how much you make. So for us who already switched to company and did tax pro max, is it advisable to register a new business name? Because I don't know. God, register to company. The only thing is, what's your liability? So I'm not saying don't move to limited. Please don't misquote me. I'm not saying you shouldn't move to limited. I'm saying the tax requirement is more for limited. But if your business requires you to secure yourself as the person, as a director, please let your business be a limited liability company. Because if your liability, if let's say the kind of business you do expose you to high liability, whereas if the liability comes, they will sue you, your father, your mother, all your savings will go. Then secure yourself by limiting your liability to what the company owns. Please don't say, oh, the person said you must take business name. No, you have to balance it. Everything is not about tax, right? If you know your liability can be high, please switch to limited. But please know that as a limited liability company, the cost of your compliance is high. Apart from company income tax, which is when you are doing above 100, if you're not even doing up to 100 million as a limited liability company, you still have to prepare management accounts, you still have to prepare an audited account, you still have to file, and you pay. I've not seen an audit this year that is less than 200,000, right? But it's once a year. So again, please balance it. Don't just say, oh, this is the liability. So no. Answer questions, please. What have I been doing, oh? Abigail, what have I been doing? What's the question I've not answered, though? You say answer question, please. What does that mean?
Maybe our questions were not answered, but that's because there are a lot of questions.
Okay,
Mm.
so Abigail, I've not seen your question. You can put it on the question.
Abigail,
Okay, I should
exactly. That's what I was
answer
to say. We can
question.
use the Q&A section. That would be easier to
Please
go
use the
through.
Q&A. We have a lot of questions, and put your name so that I know that is you. Can I
Okay,
close my LSI? I feel the trap of opposing wishes. Walk out of panic. Can I close it and continue? Well, you have to register another one, goodness. If I register a business name and I make over, yes, I've already answered that. You don't have to pay income tax. Abundantly, does BN have to use tax pro max and do we file every month? Yes, yes, yes. Or is it the end of the year? No, every month. Business name, every month you still have to do that, even if you're not making that amount of money. I think I've answered everything in Q&A. So Abigail,
okay,
I just feel like
Mayowa.
I've not been answering questions the whole day. Okay.
Mayowa said, I'm starting a new business and there's a potential that I make over 100
Yes, say
million.
what?
A potential that I
Uh-huh.
make over 100 million naira. Would you
Yes.
advise me to charge VAT from day one, as I would
Yes.
not know TQ for if I have made 100 million and I won't be able to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the answer is yes. You should start charging. That's why I said when I was answering the question, you need to look at what your projection is. So I think somebody said 50 million. I was like, that was last year. So what's your plan for this year? If you think you will do close to 100, just start charging because anything can happen, you will do. But we are all praying for good business, right? So if I start charging for day one, because it is what you charge that you pay. You're not paying for profits, right? It's when you don't charge that you will not pay from your profits. Please move
Okay.
on.
Thank you. For a consulting business not making up to 100 million naira in revenue, do you still need to file CIT?
Okay, I need to say this. If you are not a limited liability company, you don't file. But for a consulting or professional business, mostly in the finance sector, VAT applies to you even if you are not making up to 100M. People like us, we don't have a choice. We have to put VAT. It's compulsory for us, the tax consultants, accountants, finance people, consultants. You have to charge VAT, irrespective of whether you are making 100 million or not. It doesn't apply to you. You are exempted from it. Okay.
All right. I think that's all the questions that there are so many other questions. Okay. If
Please, oh,
that, I think we might have to end this because the questions keep coming. But if somebody said that if I register as a business name, okay, we've answered this question before. Some questions are just recurring. Okay, I just started my business and I have no other means of livelihood, and I take care of all my personal bills as income is generated. My business isn't making bulk money enough for me to allocate salary to myself. Please, how do I go about separating myself from my business for tax purposes?
Hey, my people, whoever sent that message, you are living a risky life. Okay, on serious notes, let me put it this way. It is not healthy for your business for you to run it like that, right? In fact, I think was it last year, last 2 years, I told the clients that was choking the business for me because I see my client's business as my business, right? Was choking the business, and I said, you know what? Go and get a sugar daddy business where to service just feel like they want to fly. Your mental state is being questioned and you are flying to Paris. The business cannot afford it. So what I'll say is this. First, look at how to separate yourself, right? Look at all your monthly expenses, whether your nails, your hair, your mother, your father's bill, your internet, all the if internet can be part of business expenses. But anyway, all your business expense, your feeding, all that, total everything, gross it up. Maybe add a little and ask yourself where your business is. Let's say you get like 200,000, right? You ask yourself, are you making enough money to pay yourself 200,000 every month consistently? Like you said, if the answer is no, then there are two things you need to do. One, you need to cut down on your expenses. Because if you don't do that, you will kill your business. So that's the first thing. But the second thing, you have to be creative about increasing your revenue so much that you can pay yourself that 200,000, right? That you have, or that amount of money that you have said you are going to pay. That should be a motivator for you to grow your business because that is your only source of income. So you don't want to kill it because you need inventory or you need cost of running the business. So if you don't have that money because you keep taking from it, the business will not live very long. So please look at either reducing your expense and say, okay, I don't have the money right now to do it. This is how much my business can pay me right now. And let me work hard to be able to pay myself where I can be comfortable. Right? That's where you can separate it. So then pay yourself that money which you have agreed and remove your eye. Anything that comes into the business, remove your eye. Let it be your growth money. Let it be your expansion money. Just stick to it. If you want to increase your salary, you can increase your salary, but stick to your salary. Don't be taking money from the business. It's really very dangerous, especially with the new tax law. Very, very dangerous on a serious note. Okay. Abigail, I've still not seen your message. Oh. The way you said answer questions, I thought it makes me feel as if I'm not answering questions the whole evening. Okay? So please put your questions if you have questions.
All right, I think that we check up. No, Abigail, we can't check up. Oh, there are too many
Please
questions.
ask the question again. Do you know how many questions we've gone through? This is 30. Eh? Put the question again, Ejo. Except, okay.
Yes. Um, so success is saying that what if you are registered as you're an accounting firm, but you are registered as a business name? Would you still charge VAT?
Mm-hmm.
If you're an accounting firm
Yes.
registered as a business name, would you still charge VAT?
Yes. I am registered as a business name. I have to charge VAT. Literally. Okay. Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. This person, okay, Abigail has asked because she said I bought a car, my car with loan, and it's in the bank name. Am I paying from the business?
I bought car with loan and it's in bank name and I'm paying from the business. Is it for the business? When you were getting the loan, did you get the loan in the name of the business? Yes, if it was in the name of the business, it is for the business, and so it applies. Does that answer your question? So if it's yes, I get that the car will be in the bank name because they still have ownership because you are still paying, and they bought and paid the car on your behalf. So they are collect their money. So the property is still their property until you fully pay. But when you fully pay, what name would they put? That is the name that you used to get the loan. So if you got the loan in the name of the business, then the car is for the business. But if you got it with your name as a person, it will be for you.
All right, I
If the
think that
clients deduct withholding tax, would we still charge VAT as a yes? No, 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 yes. Joanne, they charged withholding tax. They will charge withholding tax on your service fee. You still have to charge VAT. Well, if you're professional or you are above 100 million, yes. No, withholding tax will not cover it. Questions are coming hot and fast again. Hmm. I procure for people and I charge my service. Do I pay VAT? Yes. Well, if the service fee, again, please make sure that I know people who do drop shipping and all those things. Please let your invoice have your service fee, how much you are paying and all that. So if your service fee total or all the money you are making is above 100 million, then yes, you charge VAT or you file if you're not charging VAT. Or both of you will charge. You file. For business name less than does the business owner have anything to pay? Less than 100 million, no, you have nothing to pay where you file. I pay register as a business and should I do my transactions on my please do it to your business so that you can get traction. Is this person asking? Say, should I do my please do it in your what did they should I do my transactions? No. The transactions would be if you do it to your personal account, they will charge you the full money as personal income tax. But if you do it in your business account, you can have an allowable deductions of salaries, rent, and all those things. Also, do I pay tax on transaction on my personal? Yes, you pay tax, personal income tax. You're welcome, Joanne. I'm a small business owner, EAC, dropshipper, as if I knew. Which had my business name registered in 2024. I have a separate account of my business was not registered. Ah, that separate account will be taxed as personal income tax. So please go and register with your business name. You start filing tax when you start operating with your business name. But please know that the full money you are making in your personal account will not have any deduction. That full money will be taxed. It's dangerous to do that. So, do you give loan?
I think it's not, this is not that question.
How do you treat personal assets like it is your personal assets? You don't treat it. It's your personal asset. Sarah, you don't treat it in your business because your personal asset. I have used my business account to buy every single thing. I spend personal even to Able to shawarma, everything. Please, what do I do about that? Because now I know better. I will pay myself and stuff. Oh well, as Jesus says, go and sin no more. The total money I pay is not up to total. Okay, you make it's not up to 100 million. How did you determine this? I don't want to spell your name. What? No. Since that money I make not up to 100 million, how did you determine this? Did you prepare your accounts? Not just total everything that comes in. There are refunds, there are gifts. So you need to do an account to sole proprietors charge VAT. Yes, if you are making above 25 million. And if you have a business name or limited liability company, but if you don't have any state registration, you would not charge VAT, but personal income tax will apply. There will be no allowable deduction. Is it okay to use microfinance bank, Shama? I don't know. Those things are dangerous for me. But anyway, do what rocks your ship. iPhone, okay, for a sole proprietor running a business for over 7 years, I've never found. Hey, Jesus. iPhone, see me. What would you advise? I advise that you see me. First of all, that's 7 years of CAC. You have to go and do it if you want to keep this. Then for FRS, see me so I know what to tell you. Because there are a number of things I have to ask you. Ma, please, I couldn't hear your answer to drop shipping. Okay, drop shipping is a special thing because it can be the other way. When so you are holding products for somebody, they sell the products to their customers, but you deliver, right? So they collect the money and you deliver the product. So, and it can also be the other way, but let me explain when they collect the money and they only pay you your service fee. When they only pay you your service fee, that full service fee is your money. That's only what you calculate as your income. But please, when it is the other way around, where you are the one that's collecting the money and somebody delivering the product for you, your invoice has to be very clear to say this is the money for the drop shipper and this is my service fee. So if your service fee totally for the year is not 200 million, you don't charge the person that are drop shipping for. But if it's above 100 million, you have to charge VAT on your own service fee, the part of your money that is service fee. I hope that answers your question. Please, you didn't
Yes.
answer the question. Which question? Oh,
No, I
will
think
you
we
have
we
the
already answered this. So I think because if we stay here, it seems like there are a lot of
my
questions.
sister,
Please,
my
you
sister?
can
Hey God, please
please, I
just
think
send me a message. Send me a
yeah,
message. Email me. Send me a WhatsApp message. I would answer you as it applies to you. These questions. This is
yes,
seven,
yes.
almost 7:30. You have
That's what
my
I want.
contacts. Please just send me a message.
All
On
right. Thank
IG,
you
on
so
email,
much.
on WhatsApp, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please reach out to her. She would definitely respond to you. Thank you so much. So, regarding the invoicing app, and thank you, Ma, for your time. Like, this is a lot of time. This is 1 hour, 30 minutes. And we really do appreciate. Somebody said you too, they rush. Okay.
I took the rush because that question plenty. Who said it? Let me mark your face.
I know this will come at you.
Matthew, you are very funny.
I said not
Anyway,
you, it is me. Wow. Okay. Wow.
uh, the
Okay.
question,
Okay.
today is all questions. I didn't even do training. Everything is questions. So, oh, okay, you redeem yourself. Bumper, go and mark his face.
Yes,
Anyway.
don't worry. We'll definitely do that. Thank you so much. So because I also wanted to Mrs. Olubunmi already like explained like invoicing is important. So I wanted to also show us like how we can do that using bumper paperless. I would just share my screen very quickly. Invoicing is extremely important. The crux of everything that she has said today is invoicing. If you don't actually track how much money you are making. You are going to be in a lot of, I'll say it in Yoruba then English, basic, in a lot of debt. I guess you be in a lot of debt and you just be explaining, nobody's going to understand what you're explaining. You just be saying a lot of it's not my money, it's the business money and all of that. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and this is a free tool. Actually, this is a free invoicing tool, so we can, everybody here can quickly go and download like Bumper Paperless. It's another app, and you can also use it on the web app as well. So very quickly, what you need to do is to quickly click on so you just click on add invoice, and like there are already provisions here. You can add your tax, this service, add fee, you can add your service fee, add discount, add deposit. If there is a delivery fee, you need to add it as well. You can add as many things as possible just to show that your invoice is extremely detailed, right? And this is very important, especially if you plan to like file your tax, right? So apart from that, it now it's also very interesting because you can see, you can always generate your tax report here. You see, it's showing 000 because I have not added anything. But as you can see here, based on what you've added, to calculate your total, your TIV, your total invoice value, your gross turnover, allowable deductions. You know, she mentioned allowable deductions a lot, right? Rent and all of those things, capital allowances, and you can easily like generate your tax report here. It is free, and I don't know, somebody would drop it in the comment section. It is very free, so there is absolutely no reason for you not to use the tool. It's called the Bumper Paperless. See the person that said I was rushing now. We are, you're saying wow. Can you see? So yeah, I'm going to be dropping the link in the comment section. So just go to web.usepaperless.com. Like I said, it's a completely free tool, and every and anybody can simply access it. You can access it. So I have dropped it in the comment section. Does it link to your website? No, not currently. However, for invoicing, you can always use If you use Bumper, you can always do your invoices on Bumper. But this particular tool just helps you like generate your tax report. That's not something that you can do on Bumper right now. This is also Bumper's product, so it's going to be super easy for you to use as well. So that's one of the things that I wanted to show you today. Everybody go to the Play Store, App Store, download Paperless. It is completely free to use. You can simply use it and you will not have any problem at all. Thank you so much, Mrs. Olubunmi, for this wonderful class. And for everyone asking, oh, Bumper, does it all of those things? Can we feed the website fee into it? Yes, you absolutely will be able to do that. So for everyone, we always have, if you came to this class thinking that oh, you would learn about Bumper, we always have the open house section every Wednesdays and Fridays. We're having one on Friday by 6 p.m. So do well to join us for any of those sessions. We're going to be sending you PN prompts. We're going to be dropping it on our social media. Please join the link, and we can answer all of your questions about Bumper. And the discount code for Bumper is still available, BBGW26. BBGW26. You can simply use it to get 20% discount off your subscription. It's going to be over by February 28th, which is on Sunday. So do well to use it. Oh, our speaker's name. My name is Mrs. Olubunmi. I'm going to try to share our contact again. Okay, I'm sharing it now so that everyone can see it. Yeah, so that's our That's our contact. You can follow her on Instagram. That's our phone number and our email address. You can always reach out to her. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
Nothing. Thank you, Ma, for the time taken to take the class. It's been a lot of information. And I hope businesses here will take advantage of that to grow their business. So, just in case you need something to help with invoicing, and also to make your corporate tax reporting easier, do well to check out paperless, like the link that Dami dropped in the comment section. Use that to make life easier for yourself. And if you need consultation, I would recommend you speak with our guest speaker, Mrs. Olubunmi. Who Dami also drop a contact here. Speak with her, and then she will be able to help you solve most of your problem or all of your problem, and tell her that it came from Bumper as well, so that she can consider you very well. Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Damitu, for putting this together and the team. Let's have a good evening.
Right. Thank you so much, Ayo. Thank you, Ma, once again. And thank you to everyone that joined. Yes, definitely. We would make the recording available on YouTube. We'll make the recording available on YouTube. All right. Thank you, everyone. Do what to
Bye,
have a
everyone.
wonderful. Bye.